Aloha, everyone. The stock market continues to trend up on the big board exchanges. So right now, everything is fine. What I kind of want to look at with the New York Stock Exchange today is look at the TSV right here in the middle. You can see it's trending higher with the moving average trending higher. And you can see in MACD, it's starting to trend higher with the moving average flattening out. Money stream is hitting new highs, confirming price. Relative strength-wise, it's weakening against S&P 500. But if you look on this index, we are nowhere near overbought and appear that we can move a lot higher from here. Volume or not, it doesn't matter. Here's a monthly chart of the New York Stock Exchange. And if this doesn't make you chuckle, I don't know what will, because that's a joke, and I'm okay with it. And then moving on to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the same thing can be seen here. You can see MACD is flattening out. Looks like it wants to turn higher. Blue line is now above the moving average. TSV is trending higher with the moving average moving up, and we hit new highs overall on lower volume. Also, once again, just want to show you monthly. Take a good little chuckle at that one, but you know, it can happen. 2006, we moved higher into 2007 on below average volume, so we can continue to do that. I mean, why not? Okay, so that's that for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. S&P 500, same thing. TSV moving up, MACD moving up, not near overbought, money stream strong, no reason to fight that trend. And the NASDAQ, as you can see, above the 50-day moving average. TSV moving up. MACD getting a little overheated, but that just means that we could probably have some big days here in the short term. But overall, everything looks fine. The volume to me is absolutely comical, and this is where we can actually say, following all that huge distribution in early 2014, if we continue to rally all summer long on lower volume, man, we are set up for a hellish fall. But we'll see. We'll see. It's too far ahead to really prognosticate too far in the future. The Russell 2000 also looks solid to me. TSV trending higher. MACD starting to really pick up momentum. You can see that it did that back in February, and it turned into a nice little uptrend. So I don't see why that can't continue here. But overall, all the indexes are fine. Now, I want to say one thing. While we know QE's ending, I guess, at the end of the year, October, somebody told me. I got to admit, I have to look it up. I really don't know. And then that means that, let's say inflation comes in weak and we don't get an inverted yield curve. Then when do we top? Well, there are three things to look for a top in a very expensive market on a price to earnings ratio, price to book value ratio, price to sales, you name it. There's ways to look at it, and we kind of have that now, but what we don't have is an inverted yield curve, and that almost always, anytime you have an inverted yield curve, precedes a bear market, so we don't have that. The only other one, which we really haven't seen since the late 20s, early 30s, is deflation. When you get real deflation, you'll have a stock market move lower. So let's say we don't get an inverted yield curve, but let's say the CPI keeps coming in with some ugly negative numbers, then we'll probably top out. But like I said, until then, it's all just talk. We only have one sell tonight. Maxwell, very disappointing stock. At one point, we had a 15% gain very quickly. The stock looked beautiful, looked like it wanted to rally much higher. However, it has decided to pull back 5 days in a row on lower volume, and with it closing below the 10-day moving average for the first time on the second, with it being below average volume, there is no sell signal until it closes below the low day of 1645 of that day. Didn't do it yesterday. Now today we both get a close below the 1645 level and the 20-day moving average. So unfortunately our 15% gain has been wiped out, back to a 2% gain. It's only a 25% sell. Hopefully, with the way this chart looks like here, hopefully we get another pocket pivot point buy signal in this stock, or we just get another bounce off the 50-day moving average with a big uptick and bop to get back in. If we don't, no big deal. It is what it is. A few of the possible longs tonight. BSTC closed a little too far off the high a day, and it's a really thin stock. So I want to see a real breakout to new highs from a longer base before I get interested in that. CAVM is a bit too choppy for me, as you can see here on an arithmetic long-term daily chart. Really doesn't like to trend, so buying it up here is not of interest to me. HMHC needs to have a longer sideways consolidation before I go long. NXTM, if you look at an arithmetic, you can see that the stock isn't, you know, a really smooth mover. This could easily be a very strong move here, but I would like to have seen BOP explode higher more with that price and volume move. The fact that it didn't just doesn't make the chart appealing enough for me because the fundamentals aren't good enough. And looking at a stock that did work that we passed on, as you know, 2 days ago, CZZ. I didn't buy it because it didn't close above 1266. Whoops. up 3.57% today on higher volume and higher BOP. Everything looks good. I feel like an idiot now, obviously, for not taking it, but whatever. I'm basically fully invested anyway, and my biggest stock, one of the biggest, which is a 10% position, Walgreens was up 4% today, so that turned out well anyway. Then one new long position is PDFS. PDFS is coming off the lows following earnings, has some good earnings and sales growth. Looks to be being heavily accumulated around this area. TSV is very bullish. MACD is bullish. Money Stream is bullish, and relative strength is trending up. BOP is trending up. We got green BOP again. Strong volume, no distribution, very low risk, possible strong reward if we can get this thing to go back to the 24 area. We're only risking 2% max if we are wrong. And that is it. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.